Education in Singapore isn't cheap. From preschool fees all the way to university tuition, the costs can stack up pretty quickly. But here's the thing, you don't have to shoulder the entire burden on your own. There are plenty of financial assistance schemes designed to support families and students at every stage of education. In this video, I'll walk you through the 10 education financial assistance schemes in Singapore, what they are, how they work, and some simple tips on how to use them to your advantage. Hi, I'm Fer from Dollar Bureau, a personal finance platform that talks about insurance, investments, and financial planning. Alright, so let's kick things off right at the beginning when your child is born. Number one is the Child Development Account, also known as the CDA, which is part of the Baby Bonus Scheme. It's basically a savings account that comes with free money because for every dollar you put in, the government matches it dollar for dollar up to a certain cap. The cap depends on whether your child is your first, second, or later born. The funds can be used at approved institutions for things like childcare, healthcare, and education. Here's a simple tip. Don't wait until you have a large sum to deposit. Even small regular contributions add up, and since the government matches every dollar, you double your savings instantly. This makes the CDA one of the easiest and most effective ways to kickstart your child's education journey. Now, once your child actually enters preschool, there's another scheme that can help bring the cost down. Number two is the Kindergarten Fee Assistance Scheme. Preschool can be costly, especially if your child is enrolled in a full-day program. That's where KiFAS, the Kindergarten Fee Assistance Scheme, comes in. If your child attends an MOE kindergarten or an anchor operator preschool, KiFAS offers monthly subsidies that lowers the fees. The amount depends on your household income. The lower the income, the bigger the subsidy. This can make a big difference, especially if you're managing on a tighter budget. My tip here, always check your eligibility each year because your household income may change over time. If you qualify, apply early so you don't miss out on the support. Once your child moves on to primary school, the focus shifts from subsidies to savings, and that's where the Edusave comes in. When your child enters primary school, they'll automatically get an Edusave account. You don't even need to apply. Every year, the government tops it up with $230 for primary school students and $290 for secondary school students. The money can be used for enrichment programs, learning tools, or even to offset certain school fees. On top of that, there are Edusave scholarships and awards. If your child does well academically, or even in areas like leadership or conduct, they can get extra funds credited into their account. Here's something practical. Keep an eye on how the school uses the Edusave funds. Some parents are not aware when balances are deducted for programs, so occasionally do check. And here's the good news, when your child graduates from secondary school, the Edusave account doesn't just vanish. It actually evolves into the PSEA, which brings us to number 4, the post-secondary education account. The Edusave account automatically becomes the PSEA account once your child moves beyond secondary school. This is where things get really useful because tertiary education is where costs start to spike. The PSA can be used to pay for tuition fees, exam fees, and even enrichment courses at approved institutions like polytechnics, ITs, and universities. A huge plus is that PSEA balances can be transferred between siblings. So if one child doesn't need the funds, you can shift them to another, making it easier for families to maximize their savings. My advice here, before your child starts post-secondary education, check their PSEA balance so you can plan ahead. You might be able to set aside less cash upfront if the account already has a healthy sum. And if you're part of the Malay Muslim community, there's even more dedicated support to tap on, which is the Mendaki Financial Assistance. Yayasan Mendaki provides financial aid tailored to Malay Muslim students across all education levels. This includes subsidies for preschool, assistance for primary and secondary education, and bursaries at the post-secondary level. The great part is that Mendaki aid often complements government schemes. That means you can stack the benefits, stretching your education dollar even further. If you are eligible, my tip is simple. Check the Mendaki website regularly because different schemes apply at different stages of your child's education. Don't wait until the fees pile up before applying. And of course, if you're from different ethnic groups, check out SINDA or CDAC if they offer these too. Number 6 is scholarships and bursaries. Scholarships and bursaries are available at almost every stage, from secondary school all the way to university. Scholarships usually reward good performance, while bursaries are typically based on financial need. Some are offered by the government, others by schools, and many by private organizations. The main catch: you need to actively search and apply. They won't just fall into your lap. Here's my tip: don't wait to go to university to start looking. Many secondary schools and JCs already offer bursaries and scholarships. Even smaller awards can make a big difference over time. So build the habit of checking what's available each year. It's one of the most effective ways to cut down on education costs. And if parents want to step in directly, there's even an option to use your CPF savings to help. Parents can use their CPF Ordinary Account savings to pay for their child's tuition fees under the CPF Education Loan Scheme. It's not a grant, it works like a loan. Whatever is withdrawn needs to be repaid with interest after graduation, either by the child or by you as the parent. It's useful, but here's my advice: treat this as a backup plan. Using CPF for education reduces what you'll have for retirement. So if you do use this scheme, have a repayment plan in place early. Talk to your child about how they contribute once they graduate. But the good news is, once your child gets into university, there's already a major subsidy waiting for them, which is the University Tuition Grant. The MOE Tuition Grant is one of the most powerful ways to reduce university costs. For Singapore citizens, it can cover a huge portion of tuition fees, and in some cases, more than half. Permanent residents and international students can apply, but they'll need to serve a work bond in Singapore for a few years after graduation. Apply for the tuition grant as soon as you accept your university offer. And always check how much the grant covers for your specific course, because it varies. Even with the grant though, most students will still need to cover the remaining fees, and that's where loans come in. So number 9 is the tuition fee loan scheme, which is offered by banks in partnerships with MOE. It allows you to borrow up to 90% of the remaining subsidized tuition fees. The best part is that no interest is charged while you're studying. Repayment only starts after graduation, giving you time to focus on your studies first. If you're considering this loan, my tip is to calculate your future monthly repayments before taking it up. That way, you'll know what to expect once you start working. And if you need even more support on top of this, commercial banks also offer study loans. So on top of the tuition fee loan scheme, commercial banks also offer study loans. These can be used not just for tuition, but also for living expenses, things like hostel fees, textbooks, or daily costs. But here's the trade-off: they usually come with higher interest rates and stricter repayment terms compared to the tuition fee loan. That's why I recommend treating them as a last resort. Explore all other schemes first before turning to a bank study loan. And that's it. 10 education financial assistance schemes in Singapore. From the CDA right at birth to tuition grants and loans at university, there are schemes at every stage to help you manage education costs. The key is to know what's available and plan early. Use the right mix depending on your family situation, and always keep an eye out for opportunities like scholarships or bursaries. Remember, education is one of the biggest investments you'll ever make. With the right planning, you don't have to take on the financial burdens alone. It's best to start early so that you have time to invest your money for your child's education. That way, you don't have to just rely on these schemes to get through, but to provide the absolute best for your child's future. If you're interested in investing for your child's future, I recommend talking to one of our financial advisors for help. It's completely free. I'll link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.